Hey, what's happening, Internet? My name is Andrew, sometimes known as Drewicious. I am trying something new tonight. I'm calling it Drew's Basement, mostly because I'm in my basement. There may be other reasons, but that's the primary reason. Tonight, I am going to cover multiple time frame analysis. It is a trading analysis technique. It is probably not going to be super fascinating to advanced traders, but it might have some value for younger traders. So I don't know that much, but I'm willing to share what I have. And my team is getting blown out on Monday Night Football, so let's do something more productive, shall we? All right, let's jump in. We're going to take a look at Thinkorswim is where I do the majority of my day trading. So we're going to go through the techniques and the concepts that I'm going to talk about here. They apply to any broker. Whether you are able to get your broker to lay out the same way is also sort of irrelevant, right? If you can get multiple views, great. If you can't, you can still click through on your main windows and change through the timelines, looking for the same things that we're going to take a look at here today. And I'm going to attempt to show you how I use the multiple timeframes and where they might be valuable for you, in hopes that they make you a better trader, like I hope they have made me. We'll see. Jury's out. So let's jump in, take a look at Thinkorswim here, and I'm going to give you guys a quick tour of my layout. I know it may be a little chaotic looking for anybody that's not a Thinkorswim user. But I'm comfortable here, and all you need to know out of this view is this. I have 4 windows up. They are all on different time frames. I have a 5-minute time frame right here, a 15-minute time frame over here, a 1 hour down here, and a 4 hour right here. Now, some traders prefer to do top down, which means they would go from a higher time frame to a lower time frame. It is perfectly valid to go the other direction. In this case, I am progressing from the lower time frame to the higher time frame, although I tend to kind of scan all of them at once as I'm making daily decisions. My approach during screening is different than my approach during the trading day. That's just kind of what works for me. You guys can do whatever helps for you. But let's jump in. What we're going to do today, I just grabbed QQQ from today. It is July. I wish it was July. September 19th, 2022. I just grabbed today from QQQ, not for any special reason. I just wanted to be able to show you guys how I use the multiple time frames so that you can start to understand how they might be useful to you as well. So we're going to click through on the 5-minute chart here, a couple of candles at a time. As we do that, we're going to start to unveil kind of the 15-minute candles. As we get to the hours, we'll unveil those as well, right? Because we're not, it's always easy when you see an entire day's chart laid out in front of you. You can be like, oh, it's going to go up. So we're going to click through it one at a time to give a little bit more of a sense of, what the day's trading looks like. But we're not going to go, I did a previous video on demand, and what a huge fan I am of that platform for developing your trading. It would be good for doing this, but I don't really want to spend that much time working on that tonight. I just kind of want to click through and give you guys some quick concepts to help out. All right, so we're going to do a couple more clicks in here on the 5-minute, right? What are we seeing on the 5-minute? We are seeing a very strong move, big candle, interestingly, 15 minutes in, a larger candle than at the open, with a lot of upward strength, right? And we can see that the indicators here are starting to curl a little bit. We got a doji at the top. And we're going to jump over here and see what our first couple of 15-minute candles tell us. Well, they tell us that there was an outside bar, strong move up, and there's a doji, and these wicks here tell me that the bulls and the bears are pretty evenly matched right now. So we've gotten to a spot here where there's not a massive amount of disagreement about whether this price is fair. They're just people that want to sell and people that want to buy. Cool. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I make a lot of references to I generally do not trade within the first 15 to 30 minutes of the trading day because of the volatility. So we're just kind of getting to the range there where our opening range is set. We have a pretty good idea, which direction we're going here. So unless we see a massive reversal, things are looking like we're pretty green at the moment. So we're going to click a couple more in here, see what happens. And we're going to do a couple here at a time. So you can see we came up. And we're starting to get a lot of wicks here. The wicks on the 5-minute and the 15-minute tell slightly different stories, right? It is, and if you go to a shorter time frame, you have wicks all over the place, right? There's constantly disagreement. But what's what I find helpful is as we start getting into these higher time frames, the wicks tell a little bit more of a story, right? Are there more buyers pushing things up or more buyers pushing things down? It's a little harder to see over here unless you look at this time frame a lot and you're really trying to make very short plays. But I tend to play trends and breaks, so I'm looking for strong movement or indications that buyers are really planning on making a move, or sellers for that matter are planning on making a move. I don't care if we go up or down. I only care that we move. So what are we starting to see here on the 15-minute? Well, we've got our strong move, and then we got a couple of doji bars here, right, with a lot of upwards momentum here. Not upwards momentum, a lot of upwards pressure, a lot of buy pressure, and you can see that down here in this indicator. There's a lot of buyers involved in this and very few sellers. So it's been a very strong open so far, and it's about time for us to go ahead and unveil our first hourly. Oh, I almost clicked the wrong button there. Our first hourly candle. So what I love about coming down and referencing the 1 hour and the 4 hour is that I start to be able to attach meaning to the structures that I'm interested in throughout the course of the day. So when I look over here at the 4 hour, what I'm looking at is for the high and low of previous sessions, right? I'm looking for consistent levels where the price rejects or reacts. And I can see that just below us are a couple of wicky 4 hour candles, which means there were buyers here stepping up down at the bottom. So somewhere down here at this 296, 297 region or 287 region are buyers. There are people there that believe that that's a good price and they are interested in entering the market at that price. Also up here, there is a reject, right? We came up here after a strong day and we sold off, right? Something happened here overnight. Maybe there was some bad news. I mean, this is just last night, so I don't know what caused the session to sell off overnight. I didn't see any news. Somebody could probably tell me, but I don't have the answer right now. That's the important part. But it doesn't actually matter, right? All I'm interested in here is the price action. And what I see that price action doing is coming back down. There was not support to continue this move up here, even though this is a very strong close. We pushed up a little bit, sold off, and we're starting back over again. So these are the structures that I'm paying attention to, and I can't see those up here on the 5-minute or the 15-minute. Even the 1 hour chart, I can see this high here from the overnight session. But, I don't have any good sense on the 1 hour chart. I don't know whether I'm in an uptrend or a downtrend, right? So that's where the multiple time frame starts to play in more, is you get a better sense of, hey, are we at a spot where we're starting to turn around? Are we kind of in the middle of a dump? Are we getting to a spot where, it looks like we could lose support? It is easier for me to see larger structures on higher time frames. So I think, that's where the 4 hour and the 1 hour come in really handy for me, is I don't get too tangled up in the minutia of believing that my universe exists between, the price of 288 and 286, right? That's all we're seeing here is $2 worth of price action. Even this one, right, only tells us 285 to 291, right? So it's really not until we get up here where we're starting to see, 285 to 305, right? Well, now we can see, $20 of movement, which is significantly larger than $2 of movement, right? So that context can help you understand whether you are fighting pressure or whether there is, momentum or gravity pulling you down or pressure pushing you up. All right, let's get through some more clicks on this thing. I don't want to keep you guys here forever. Now you can see that we got through some consolidation. We tested down here on VWAP and we're pushing back up. So it does look like the bulls are continuing to win here. We're going to click over on the 15. We get our confirmation there that is in fact accurate. So we have a nice move up, right? They never really even broke that lower moving average. So, on the 15-minute candle, we can see that this is still definitely like there's no reason to get out of this, right? If you took this play, you are definitely still riding it up, even though some of these wicks are starting to break the indicators. We kind of testing VWAP a little bit here. But you can see easily over here on the 15-minute that there's no reason to panic, right? This is still strong price movement, and we are getting our first kind of noticeable bull candle or bear candle here so far is this kind of medium body candle here in the middle of our of a strong move up. Let's take another look at the next hourly candle here to get a sense of what's going on. All right, well, the hourly confirms that, right? We got two candles here with strong wicks at the bottom and little wicks at the top, right? Or at least smaller wicks at the top. So there's some selling, but mostly it's buying, right? And it's strong movement, right? These are strong moves. They're open and the close there, they're open and the close there. So we're making a strong move, and the buyers are continuing to push up because they are very excited about the price action that they're seeing. All right, let's keep moving here. Now you can see that on the 5-minute, starting to look a little bit like, I don't know, is this a turnaround? I'm not sure, right? I mean, there's a big top wick, pulled back for the first time. We got a couple of red candles, so I don't know. Are we just retracing a little bit and consolidating, or are we getting ready to dump? It's hard to say for sure. Let's see what the 15-minute says. 15-minute says you got a doji. Doji means indecision. So, the market's actually not sure what's happening at this point. Oh, I went too far. Let's back up and pretend we didn't see that. All right, this doji, we don't know what that doji means. If only there was a way we could find out. Well, we can keep clicking in here to find out what happens. And as we start getting in, right, there's a lot of wiki action up here at the top. So it is starting to feel like we're getting a little toppy. And whether we're going to, just go through a bit of a pullback here or whether it's going to be a full-on reversal, I'm not sure. But it is clear to me that the sellers are starting to stepping up here sooner and pushing the price down quicker than they were down here, right? There's some wicks, but there's also movement. Here the bodies are getting narrow. The buyers and the sellers are getting closer to each other. And you can see that the sellers are really starting to assert some force here. So as we come over a little bit further, we can see that the sellers are starting to have an impact. And they had quite an impact, right? They came all the way here. They crossed all of the moving averages, and they even crossed VWAP, right? So we moved quite a bit here. And if we take a look at the 15-minute, big sell bar, right? Big outside sell bar. And, so at this point, if I'm only paying attention to the 5-minute, I might be thinking, gee, it's time to get out, man. I lost my level over here. Look at this. I'm already testing these wicks down here. Maybe I think I might have broken those wicks here. So it might be time for me to get out of this trade on the 5-minute. 15 minutes, not so concerned about it, right? Hey, man, this bar just pulled back. We're just kind of down to our lower indicator here. Yeah, it could keep going, right? There's some structures here that we need to pay attention to, but let's go find out what is our hourly telling us right now. There's our big bar down, and look at what happened. We lost our wicks down here at the bottom. This is a big sell bar. Wick at the top, no wick at the bottom. That is a lot of downward momentum. Let's see what happens next. All right, well, we pivoted a little bit. We're coming back up. We're testing VWAP. All right, well, are we going to test VWAP and reject, or are we going to test VWAP and break back through again, right? Is this just an extended pullback? Oh, we tested VWAP and rejected. Let's see what the 15-minute tells us here. So there was a little push up, bottom wick, and then straight reject, right? Inside candle, inverted hammer there, telling me that we did not have the guts to get up over VWAP again. So we're kind of starting to cross down a little bit, but we're also kind of holding this level right here, and I'm not 100% sure what's going on. So this is another area where I'd come down and take a look at what is happening. Oh, I advanced the hourly too quick there, but you can see that we kind of came down, we bottomed, we definitely broke this previous level, right? So on the 5-minute only, I would probably start to be a little concerned, especially when I saw this candle forming, right? Like, holy moly, we are pushing back down. We're heading back down towards the opening price. But guess what happened? Huge wick at the bottom, lots of sellers, or lots of buyers stepping up. And you can see that happening on the 15-minute as well. In fact, I think today I said potential diamond bottom forming here, right? Like we've got a nice wick in the middle, and it's kind of pressuring up, and that would indicate a strong move back upwards. So let's keep clicking through a little bit here, and what do you know? There it is, right? We consolidated a little bit here. We pushed down. This could have been a little bit scary, especially if you bought somewhere in here. You'd be riding out red this whole time if you didn't sell. So this very much could have gone down here, right? But we got a lot of volume here on a buy candle, and we did in fact push back up across VWAP and start making some progress again, right? 15-minute confirms that we're on our way back up, and that's what we're seeing here in the hourly. And the other thing that I'm noticing here in the hourly is that we got that wick at the bottom, right? That tells me that buyers are still interested, right? They just took a little bit of a break. They wanted to see what was going to happen. So as we click through, I'm going to kind of bring us through here a little bit, right? But we can still see that price movement, right? And we don't know, like right now, we've still got a lower high. We haven't broken the previous high. So maybe we're going to turn around again. Who knows, man? It's like we we almost lost VWAP here and we're pushing back up, but we don't know what's going to happen. So we get our 15-minute candles here, right? We got there, looks like we maybe have a reject coming up. We can see that that's coming back. We're going to come back down and see if VWAP is going to support us again. And I see some wicks at the bottom, no wicks at the top. Well, maybe VWAP is going to support us again. All right. It looks like VWAP is going to hold this time. And we can see that those wicks at the bottom, no wicks at the top. That does indicate that the buyers are stepping up again. And they're testing it. They're testing it hard. Let's see what the hourly is telling us down here. Well, we got an inside bar with buyers at the bottom. And click over a little bit further. All right, we got more consolidation coming down, testing VWAP again. And I think that's kind of what's bearing out here in the 15 minutes. And we got another one of those dojis, a lot of sell pressure right here. And, oh man, I don't know. Maybe we're getting ready to dump. I don't know. We'll see what happens. More consolidation, right? It just looks kind of weak. Nobody's really making a commitment here. Coming down, we're testing VWAP again. And while this consolidation is going on, let's go see what the hourly thinks is happening with this. Hourly says, yeah, I got consolidation, and it's mostly buyers pushing price back up, right? I see bottom wicks through these 3 candles here. All throughout this consolidation, what I see is every time the price drops down a little bit, buyers snap it up. So this is buyers loving the price action. And guess what happens next? We test through a little bit more. We get a huge move up. And let's take a look at that on our 15-minute chart. There's a nice, strong candle up, right? Breaks the high a day, get a ton of volume. This is what we were hoping for, right? And the story is all being told in the wicks here on the hourly, right? Look at that beautiful candle. It breaks that previous high from the pre-market. And let's go see what our 4 hour is telling us here. Look at that. 2 great candles on the 4 hour, right? So this is how I use the multiple time frames to help me make sense of what I'm seeing on the lower time frames, right? The 15-minute helps reinforce what I'm seeing on the 5. The hourly helps me reinforce what I'm seeing on the 15, and the 4 hour helps me see kind of the big picture. You can go look at the daily as well. It helps you tell the same story, right? Are we on the way up or the way down? Or are we just trending sideways? But moving between those time frames can very much help you keep anchored and have the right perspective as you look to make the trades as you're going throughout the day. And I also use this when I'm doing my screening as well. I go the other direction when I'm screening. I am not as interested in going from the 5-minute up to the 4 hour when I'm screening. I want to go from the daily to the 4 hour, sometimes down to the 1 hour. And so I'll go the other direction. So play around with it a little bit. I hope, on your browser, or I'm sorry, on your broker, that you're able to figure out, how to get and replicate this sort of information. If you do have just kind of a simpler thing, you can just switch through time charts or through time frames on pretty much any browser, right? Webull, TOS, what other, I think, Moo? Cash Moolah, I can't remember what that other one's called. Momo? I don't know, whatever. It's going to be a bad exercise if I try to name all the brokers. But whatever you have, get out, play around with the charts, find some different time frames, figure out, and there's, on a lot of the brokers, right, like you'll get some kind of default options here. Hey, I want to look at the 1 day, but a lot of times if you click around a little bit, you can actually change out like, hey, I want to see what 2 years of 1 day looks like, right? It's a totally different look. You get a lot more context. So play around with them, see what's helpful for you, and start implementing multiple time frame analysis to help make your trades better. I hope that is helpful for y'all. I'm going to go up and see if my team is doing any better. And if not, I don't know, maybe I'll do another video. But until then, I will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Skull.